Hi everyone, it's Mayu. Welcome back to my channel. I have a guest. It's Forrest.
Hello. Hi, my name is Forrest. I'm from America and I work in Gunma Prefecture as a translator and supporting foreigners living in Gunma. I have known Mayu for about 4 or 5 years. Actually, we went to both of the same colleges together. Yeah, I'm happy to be here today.
Thank you. So today it's all gonna be in English. I want to talk about the differences between language education in the US and in Japan. So I will kind of like ask questions to Forrest and then we talk about our own experiences and what we thought about how we acquired second languages or third.
Yeah.
I want to first ask you when you started learning your second language.
The first second language I ever studied was Spanish when I was in kindergarten in the United States, and I was probably 5 or 6 years old.
So I started learning English when I was in 5th grade in elementary school, so I think that's like way earlier than I started.
Yeah, I think now in Japan they study English from earlier, but yeah.
Did you choose to learn Spanish or was like Spanish?
It was mandatory.
Oh, okay.
I think some schools in America will do French, but it's more common to study Spanish, but we do it in much the same way as English is studied in Japan, where you know it's studied, but not everybody necessarily like is fluent by the end of the education system.
So until when did you study Spanish?
I took Spanish from kindergarten until the last year of high school in 12th grade.
So relatively a long time.
Oh yeah, I took it for 13 years. I should be fluent and can speak essentially zero.
Well, I think that happens to a lot of Japanese students learning English, even though we learn it for like more than 10 years.
The Japanese education system gets a lot of criticism for people not necessarily being fluent at the end, but I mean, Americans can't speak Spanish any better than Japanese people speak English, so it's not just a Japan thing.
Was your education focused on grammar and like reading?
Starting from middle school, I remember conjugating verbs and
grammar.
Actually, yeah. And then in high school, it was a lot more speaking. I would say we were more spoken to than made to speak. The last 2 years of high school, all the language in the class was Spanish.
Oh. The American teacher who teaches Spanish is fluent?
None of my teachers of Spanish that I ever had were native speakers. They were fluent for sure.
Okay, that's good.
But not native. So that's actually interesting.
Well, I think a lot of my teachers were like good at explaining the language, but not really good at speaking the language. We didn't really do speaking practice, but we were focused more on the exams.
Yeah, you don't really get tested for Spanish on college entrance exams or anything. We just sort of learned it to know it. So I think there was a lot more flexibility in the curriculum. And I think maybe even because of that, we ended up knowing more Spanish. Like in high school, I could speak okay Spanish. Japanese people can talk about English grammar better than most native English speakers can because they learn like how the language works. Yeah. But I don't think that there's as much focus on using the language.
Because even if we were able to speak the language, we don't have to use it in our daily life. So like we don't really have the motivation or like we don't feel the necessity to speak that language.
And I think Spanish education in America is largely the same. Most people are not going to use Spanish on a daily basis. I would say one huge difference is in Spanish classes in America, you learn about Spanish-speaking countries' cultures, primarily. You'll learn to talk about other countries in Spanish, whereas my experience in the Japanese education system for English is that you learn to talk about Japan in English. Which I found very funny.
I didn't even realize. I guess we should have learned like the differences between American English and like British English. That's kind of nice that you learn about different cultures.
And I feel like that's kind of like the difference in motivation. The reason that English is in the Japanese education system is to prepare Japanese people to like share and like spread Japanese culture to other places. But in at least in my educational experience, like we learned about Spanish to like reach out and like understand more about other places.
That's so true. Interesting. The college you're from is very famous for its language education, right? And I also went there as an exchange student for a year, and I learned Spanish there.
Oh really? You took Spanish at Middlebury?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I took 2 languages in high school.
What?
Yeah, I
You
took
did?
Chinese as well.
Oh, in high school?
Yeah, I took Chinese. And in Middlebury, I took 4 languages, I think. 5, sorry, 5. I took Japanese, classical Hebrew, modern Hebrew, classical Greek, and French. Yeah, and they were all hard. They were all hard.
It's so hard.
So hard.
They make us speak so
Yeah.
much.
But
And
it's good. It's good for you.
Yeah, it's really good. I know, but it's also I was like, oh, please not me, not me.
Yeah. I will go on record as saying Middlebury's language classes were absolutely fantastic. Like I learned so much.
If you want to acquire a language,
Absolutely.
yeah,
They
that's the school
feed
to go.
it into you.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's very hard.
It was so
like
hard.
the assignment that we get on a daily basis.
Every single day you
Yeah.
have homework. You taking another foreign language in Middlebury is actually
In
like,
English.
you have no idea what that means. Like that is unthinkably difficult.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
So the classes are all in Spanish. So I have to first understand it in English and then kind of like translate it to Japanese sometimes.
It's rough.
So that was like learning another language in another language.
I took Japanese in ICU as well, but I also took Indonesian.
Oh my god. So we are both crazy.
Languages are fun. Just
yeah,
like,
it's fun.
great.
We like it.
Yeah. I also want to say that one of the good things about Middlebury's language classes, depending on the language, your first year usually has a very high frequency of classes. So I had Japanese every single day.
Wow.
Yeah, they were so good though. My teachers were amazing.
I think if you expose yourself to that kind of situation, you get to acquire English.
What do you think specifically about the way that they did languages was so useful in picking it up?
I think explaining your opinions and like being able to discuss with your classmates, that was the hardest part, and that was also like I think I improved my Spanish a lot and also my English. I think like competing is also very good.
It's a good motivator, yeah.
Yeah, because in a discussion you kind of compete with each other and you get to be graded on that.
We didn't do many speech contests, but we did a lot of presentations.
Presentations, yes.
Did you ever write essays?
All the time.
Oh my gosh, I had to do my like sotsuron in Japanese. That was in Middlebury. It was hard. Yeah, it was about Japanese linguistics.
But yeah, I did my sotsuron, my senior thesis in
English? Oh wow.
In ICU, and I think that was good practice.
So you've taken language classes in both America and Japan. So what do you think that Japan could do in its language classes to increase like their effectiveness?
So as I said, discussions were very helpful. I read a lot of books in Middlebury.
Oh wow. I think even how we take English classes in America is we read books. Here's some literature in the English language. Read it, write essays about it, think about it, talk about it.
And also another thing is that we just study for the exam. If you know how fun it is to exchange like ideas with people from different countries, that's the motivation you need.
My high school was also very international in the United States, and I was absolutely fascinated meeting people from different countries. That is really what inspired me to like take interest in foreign languages.
Yeah, I think having that kind of experience is very valuable.
I took languages because I love them. Like it didn't particularly help me in a lot of ways to take 4 or 5 languages. Like it killed my social life.
Yeah.
It killed like my sleep schedule.
Oh my god,
But
yeah.
oh my gosh, it was so much fun. But I don't think that anyone should beat themselves up for not like excelling at English. Like I think if it's something you're passionate about, then you should absolutely pursue it as much as you can.
If you have a reason to speak English, yeah, that's the best. So that's how we learned both languages.
I had to study a little bit of Spanish to pass school, but I didn't need to study Japanese for 10 years. I like it, it's fun.
I studied English a lot, but it didn't feel like a burden. I studied it because I liked it, and I studied it because I wanted to communicate with people from other countries. I highly recommend that you find some goal or motivation to study English.
There are different ways to be good at English. You know, if you want to learn English to, you know, get into college, that's fine, and that's like a great, you know, that's a necessary part of life. But if your goal is to truly communicate with other people, if your goal is passion and love of the language, I would say to not worry so much about like getting hung up on grammatical correctness or you know, like spelling or stuff, and just immerse yourself in it. Like talk to people, make mistakes. Like like the more mistakes that you like 積み重ねる, the more that you will like just have experience and exposure. A lot of the people I know who are quite good at English are not the most grammatically correct, but the most fearless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up.
Yeah, give it a big thumbs up, slap that like button, ring that bell, subscribe, like, leave a comment.
Oh my god. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you, goodbye.
Bye.